We have our best offer yet on poodlecfb.com right now onto the launch of CFB 26. If you use code LAUNCH with a capital L, you will get $50 off the annual plan. And if you're into the monthly plan, if you use code LAUNCH 2025 capital L, you will get $5 off the monthly plan. Guys, these discounts are recurring. So the beauty of this is if you lock yourself in now, you'll have it for the remainder of CFB 25 and CFB 26 and beyond that. So make sure to sign up right now. Everybody's Poodle back with another CFB 25 video. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over the top 5 best recruiting tips that you need to know for CFB 26 launch. But guys, before we get into the video, as you know, we're under 4 weeks away from the launch of CFB 26. Super exciting. I know everyone's going crazy over on Twitter for this. Last year's launch was huge. I think this launch will be even bigger. Maybe not from like the worldwide perspective, but just how they refine the game and how people are really gonna appreciate it. But guys, what that means though is that we are in the final weeks of our biggest sale of the year over on poodlecfb.com. A lot of people have been taking advantage of this, locking themselves in and getting prepped for the big launch in a few weeks. We'll be getting our spreadsheets updated, our calculators updated, a new guide, and so many more features for you guys to have ready for the first few weeks of CFB. Lock it in now on the pre-sale. If you use code LAUNCH with a capital L, you get $50 off the annual plan. If you use code LAUNCH 2025, you get $5 off the monthly plan. It's our biggest sale of the year. Lock it in. It will be gone once the game launches. So make sure you check it out. And of course, guys, the first person to DM us over on Twitter does get a special rate code. So make sure to use that as well. Take advantage, guys. You don't want to miss this deal. Remember, the discount is recurring, which means if you get it now, you are grandfathered in for the lifetime of your membership, which means throughout the rest of this year, next year, and so on and so forth, as long as you choose to be a member. Come join hundreds of members. Don't miss out, guys. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So I have quite a few tips. I thought these out pretty meticulously. I have a few strategies, and I think these are going to really kill it in CFB 26. And for all you guys who've been following, you know, this is kind of my thing. I put together some strategies. I think this through. So stay tuned. Listen carefully. I have 2 really good ones in here that are strategies. The others are more tips. So just stay tuned for all this. The first one's going to be, don't get fancy year 1. Play the efficiency game. Why? As I've stated in some other videos, coaching packages may be different, coaching setups may be different, coaching abilities may work better, some may work less. As you guys know, the game changes year to year. A package 3 in recruiting last year may not either be there next year or may not work the same way or maybe a broken ability. Don't get fancy year 1. People are going to get fancy in your league. They're going to start buying packages right away. They're going to try to pick some current coaches. They're going to try to go all in on the 5 stars, forgetting. Go back to the basics like it's CFB 25 day 1. Like I said from the beginning, stay in your pipeline. Take the guys. This is kind of my advice for people in year 1 or 2 always. Take the guys you have the lead on. Go through your list. Your first, second, and third guys on your list. Go through them. Secure the easy ones. You're playing for elite recruiter long term, right? You're trying to just get in your first set of classes and start washing through and resetting your roster. Play the efficiency game year 1. As you guys know, with proximity visits being a big thing next year, it's going to be important to stay within your pipeline more than ever, especially early on. Once you have all the best packages in the ideal coach build, feel free to venture off and destroy people elsewhere. But year 1, keep it basic. Go for the 5 4s, 3 stars that want to be on your team. Go for elite recruiter early. Even take some of the bust if it's worth it for 4 or 5 stars so you can steal them. And make sure you're taking advantage of the pipeline proximity visit discount. That's going to be huge, especially for year 1, because a lot of people may not play to that, and they're going to be going outside their pipeline on guys that may want them. When you're in pipeline, you're going to have to apply more visits and get more recruits that way. So just be uber efficient year 1. Take your shots where you can. Play it safe. You're kind of playing, you're bunting and going for singles, no home runs year 1. That's the best thing I can recommend. That's what I'm going to be playing my first season. And it allows you to do 2 things. See how good the proximity visits are. And they're going to be good, right? They're going to be good no matter what. But this allows you to see how good. It allows you to watch a lot of other people fight over other 5s and 4 stars out of their pipeline, potentially lose and not really efficiently recruit. It allows you to bring in your best chance at elite recruit where other people are messing up. Hopefully, if your league doesn't watch too many of my videos, you'll be the one guy doing this, and you're going to be able to get elite recruiter very early, as well as start to compete and rebuild that roster. Tying into the first point, don't go right away into the game and start spending points in recruiter. I'm being so serious with you guys. Some packages aren't going to work the same way. Some packages like tier 2 there may not be there. Tier 3 may have been changed slightly. Tier 4 may work now when last year it didn't work too well. Tier 1 may not be there. Don't just go willy-nilly like, I'm going to repeat my coach build from last year. I'm just going to start buying things. Don't spend anything in recruiting. Like I said, as long as you play the efficiency game year 1, no one's going to beat you on recruiting packages. What do I mean by that? If someone takes the current coach, first off, they're hurting themselves in the long run. The current coaches are the only ones that are going to beat you out a little bit in year 1. Don't worry about them because they're going to be hurt every year after that. Basically, you're competing with the custom coach guys. And the beauty of that is it's going to take them a full season to get enough points to really put some dent into their recruiting packages. They're not going to get too far. So don't worry about that. What you're going to, the only difference is going to be this. They're going to start spending it right away and learn by the end of season 1 going to season 2 that, oh, I should have went this route. Oh, I shouldn't have bought that. And they're going to have a kind of botch coach. You're going to be doing it at the end of the season once you've seen some videos and once you practice and study and kind of heard from other users what worked, what didn't work. Now you're going to have an elite coach going forward with a very ideal coach build. Do not go willy-nilly just spending points in your recruiting build saying like, oh my God, like I need to get better stuff on quarterbacks. I need a quarterback right away. Understand that year 1's really be efficient. Again, singles and bunts, be efficient, spectate, watch everyone else's mistakes, and then dominate from there on out. Do not go all in and just start buying things that look cool. I cannot stress that enough, especially on recruiting. People are going to do that right away. They're going to be like, oh, this is a quarterback I really want. He's a 5-star quarterback. Maybe I should just buy these first 2 packages because they'll help. But then we'll find out that tier 1 and 2 don't work too well. Now you're going to be short on points, and then you're not going to be able to buy something else later. Definitely wait on recruiting packages. So one of the first strategies is going to be layering your recruits. This is what I've named it so far. And as you guys know, I name things and I kind of stick to them all year without renaming them. It's going to be called a layered proximity recruiting approach. I went into detail in my last video. If you haven't seen it already, go watch it. I'm not going to go super into detail again because for all you guys who watched, you may be tired of hearing it. But basically the strategy is this. In this year's game, to do recruits at 40 points, you basically, it's a lot of points, 40 points. So let's say you had 900 hours as you see above, and you have 11 recruits you're going all in on at 80 points per. You'd basically have to cut 2 or 3 recruits out to go ahead and apply visits to get the points back for it. This year, with points being at 50 to start and potentially being harder to get the extra hours, you're going to be doing maybe 18 recruits year 1 because you can go all in on with 50 points, 18 recruits, or depending on the size of your school, but I'm just assuming a school this size, but it depends on the size of your school, scale that down accordingly. But basically, I'm going to be layering my recruits to maximize how many visits I can bring in for the hours I have. Think about it this way. If you're bringing in 18 recruits year 1, 12 through 18 recruits year 1, that's 12 to 18 potential visits. You don't have enough points for that. So with the new proximity boost, I'm going to be layering my recruits in this way. When I come in here, I'm going to be trying to get as many of the 5s and 3s on my board as I can within reason, like 4 stars, 5 stars, maybe some 3s. Because if you do this, let's say you grab these guys right here. I'm going to do my first layer. All my hometown guys on my board, especially for year 1, while I'm just trying to be efficient and bring in the best class and get elite recruiter. Basically, these guys being 5s and being within proximity, maybe not California, but being in the Texas or East or Louisiana area, these guys will be able to go ahead and get like 10-point visits versus 40-point visits. So your first 9 recruits will cost you 90 total points to get visits. Then I'll go for like the California ones or the 3s here. So let's say you get these 3 guys on the board. These guys are going to be like the 3-star level pipelines. These guys may have 20-point visits because they're slightly further away, but they're still there. So now these guys will cost you 20. So now it's 20, 20, which is 40 plus 90. That is 130 points for 11 visits. That's the majority of your board. Meanwhile, if you were just to recruit outside your pipeline or just recruit the best guys that you see, you'll be stuck with having 40 times 11 is 440 points versus 130 points. That is 1/4 the amount. So my new layered approach, at least initially while I'm still learning the game and just trying to be efficient, will be trying to get at least 2 to 3 layers of players in my teams. The 5-star pipeline guys, the 3, 4, 2-star pipeline guys, and then maybe I'll even throw in a few feelers for like that elite wide receiver I want. But basically what this means is, let's say there's a receiver you really like. 97 speed, 80 catching. Deep threat. But then you find another guy, 96 speed, 79 catching. Obviously you want the 97 speed guy, but the 96 speed guy is a 5-star pipeline guy, which means you can give him a visit for 10 points, which means you're more likely to get him. So not only are you more likely to get these guys, you're more likely to get elite recruiter year 1, and you're most likely to beat people out, especially people fighting with you outside of pipeline, which is super important for being able to go ahead and actually dominate some of these guys. And like, let's say this right here, Ohio State, you're fighting with this recruit here. I have a 5, Ohio State has a 1. Their visit proximity is probably a full 40, while mine is going to be a 10-point visit. That is going to be a huge, huge difference. And basically means Ohio State will have to either prioritize a visit on this guy, or he may say, I'm not going to put a visit on this guy. Now you have an edge on everyone that you're outside of pipeline on when you're inside of pipeline, that you're competing outside of pipeline on. That's going to be huge. So that's going to be my layered recruit approach. I'm going to try to layer like super close recruits, moderately close recruits, and then some outside feelers. Once we have the ideal coach build and we're dominating the game and we know exactly what works, what doesn't work, we can stray from this a little bit and start to go in a direction that allows us to fight outside. But I imagine they put this in the game to allow for a strategy like this that allows people to dominate in their hometowns and not allow like Alabama to come into Iowa and just steal from Iowa so easily without them having to put in a lot of hours towards it, and then it hurts them on the home front not getting them. So this allows you to get potentially 11 plus visits on your players by just knocking off maybe 2 recruits off your board versus having to knock off 440 points worth. If you have 900 hours and you're going in for 18 recruits and you want 440 points worth of visits, you have to drop half your board, or you'd have to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get them on. By that point, all the visits are probably filled, or you've missed the weeks you can do visits on early. The layered recruiting video will be dropping when the game drops. When the game's out, we can see everything in its totality, but just have that strategy in your mind ready. As we did reference though, keep this into the whole reevaluating cut phase. So let's say you do have the layered recruit mindset, right? And you need to get up 140 points. Not many, but you still need to find them. So let's say I have 18 recruits on my board and I do the layered approach. This means you only need to find 140 points. What I like to do is I filter through my recruits. I look at who I have the best chance of winning. So right here, let's look at this guy. I'm at 9. I'm about to be cut off out of the top 8. Let's say I look like this is going to be a tough one. A&M's a user. These guys are a user. Texas is a user. Oklahoma's a user. I may just go ahead and cut this guy, get my 50 points back. That's 50. Go through. Okay, I think I have a chance of winning this one. TCU and OSU is not a user. Texas A&M slightly above me. I'm going to go through, and you guys have watched enough of my videos to know I reevaluate. What I usually do is after the first week. After the first week of putting recruiting actions, I see where I am. Once it comes time for visits, well, in that first week, after the first advance, I usually make a list of likely cut candidates, likely keep candidates. Then when it comes time for the visit week, I can quickly go back and check those guys. Did I make any ground? Did I fall behind more? If I fell behind more, those are my cut candidates. So what I always do is I go all in on the 18 guys. Again, according to how many hours you have. Could be 15, 16, could be a little more. 18 guys. Then what I need for those 140 points, I need to cut about 3 to 4 recruits or possibly pull back hours. So what I'll do is I'll find 3 guys that, yeah, I'm going to be closed out on. He's going to be cut. I didn't even really want that guy, or I'm bringing in 3 quarterbacks. I don't need that third one. He's the least likely one I'm going to recruit or bring in successfully. I cut those guys. Then maybe one guy I'll have such a big lead on already because no one else is recruiting them. I could pull some hours back. And by using the layered recruit method with the reevaluation method, you essentially can give visits to almost all your recruits by only dropping about 2 or 3 guys, when if you didn't layer your recruiting methods and recruiting prospects, if you didn't layer them for proximity visit points, you'd basically have to bring in 440 points worth, which is impossible, which means you'd only be doing about 3 to 4 visits probably at the same price point as the other ones with the proximity visits. And the bigger problem here is everyone else that's doing the 10-point visits, you're going to get screwed on because they're going to all have the hometown advantage. So if you're recruiting anyone out of pipeline, they're going to all be getting 10-point visits. You're going to be going for 40, and you're going to be out of hours and resources very quickly. This last one I cannot stress enough. It goes under the radar sometimes. Hopefully you guys know it. It's the rug pull method. It is going to be huge for year 1, and I kind of alluded to it before. The rug pull method is essentially when you could tell that you're going to win a recruit, like guaranteed, no chance anyone else wins it, and you go ahead and pull the rug out from under them. What do I mean by that? Let's say on this specific recruit, let's say Michigan, I was in first, and my lead was huge. I was the only one who visited it. Only one who sent an offer. Let's say 2 scenarios here. One, you have a huge lead, and you can tell that the other guys are going to start dropping their offers. Or you advance, you have a huge lead, yours went up this much, and theirs went up that much, which tells you they put no hours on the guy, and they've basically given up. Or, on the flip side, you're going against no users, just CPUs, and you have a huge lead. What the rug pull method allows you to do is actually bring points back. So let's say, again, you're going in for 18 recruits, and you need to find 120 points for visits. That's 3 players. But you have 2 players on your board, instead of cutting, let's say you have 18 players you like. You have a decent chance at all of them. You really don't want to cut any. And you go through your board and you see that there's 2 guys you have with a huge lead. Like, huge. You were so far ahead, you could tell everyone else dropped. You could see the offers gone. What I do is, I actually hop on them. I go to their recruiting. I take their actions off and I put them back at 0. Because my lead is so huge that I can come back to them later. So that gives me back 50 points there. I get back 50 points here. And then let's say I have another guy that I have like 20 points on, which you shouldn't do. But let's just say you pulled that 20 off initially and I take the rest off. You can actually recoup your 120 points that way without dropping a guy, and that's the rug pull method. I use this with 2 instances. Again, I use it when I have huge leads or guys cut off. I also use it for bust players. So a lot of time people won't recruit bust, like a 5-star receiving back bust. People won't touch them. So that first week, I'll go all in on them, give them my full 50. I'll take this huge lead, and everyone else is like, oh, I was hoping to get them later. So then they just drop them from their board. Then I come back off of them, and that basically locks them up a 5-star bust player. Again, for elite recruiter, that's why I'm doing this. That locks them up, and I'll do that with like 2 or 3. I'll see 2 or 3 bust running backs or wide receivers. I'll lock them all up after week 1. Everyone else will drop off of them because it's huge lead. They're a bust player. They're not going to put resources. I'll then take all 50 off all 3, get 150 back, and then I'll use that for my visits. So you kind of want to be tying in the reevaluation and the rug pull method all together. That way you can get your points. So you follow the layering prospect tiered method and bring in guys with cheap visits. That's going to be the first aspect. Then to find the points, you're either going to do the approach where you rug pull and find some players that you have huge leads on, because no one's going to know you're not doing it. Always be vigilant and check back like every week or so to make sure no one's like kind of figuring out what you're doing and starting to put hours on. But you're mostly going to be fine with that. And then the other approach is going to actually be going back in and just seeing who you can cut out from guys that like you have a huge disadvantage on. You're out of pipeline, you didn't get a good visit on them, so on and so forth. If you use all of those guys, you be efficient, you don't get fancy, you don't waste your points, you're going to be a recruiting monster the first 2 years. You're going to reset your roster quickly, bring in a slew of new talent, and to top it all off, then you're going to learn all the coach builds, and you're going to have an ideal coach. This is how you're going to dominate your leagues, guys. I cannot stress enough how the first 2 to 3 seasons, 4 seasons are so important in Dynasty mode. It sets the standard for everything else. You get a lead on people early, understanding the pipelines, picking the perfect school for what you need, picking the perfect school with the grades, picking the right pipeline, being efficient, getting those first 2 to 3 classes, getting elite recruiter unlocked earlier than everyone else. You're going to be on that stage of just pipelining players in, dominating, getting a pipeline of players with 5 stars, high grades, boosting up overalls, and then very quickly you're a powerhouse. That's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys follow this. Make sure to bookmark this video so you can come back to it right when CFB 26 launches. I will be making another version of this video once the game launches, once we see exactly what packages are, once we see exactly what everything is. But this is going to hold true in next year's game. I just may need to tweak this a bit and make it slightly more definitive on certain packages to buy versus certain packages to avoid. But that's about it, guys. Hope you did enjoy. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn the noti bell. Don't miss the biggest sale of the year over on poodlecfb.com. Code launch with a capital L gets you $50 off the annual plan. Code launch 2025 gets you $5 off the monthly plan. Make sure to check it out. You guys won't want to miss it. It's a recurring deal. You were grandfathered in, so if you lock yourself in now, you will have it for the lifetime of your membership. Don't miss out. There's less than 4 weeks at this point. When you're seeing this, maybe 3 weeks for you to actually lock this in and get acclimated with all the spreadsheets, all the pipelines. And we do have our pipeline sheet over there, which lays out all the pipelines for your team choice. So get over there, get acclimated in the Discord, and get ready to go, guys. I'm out. Peace.